Alright, what's up everyone? So today I'm going to be showing you how to change the lever on a Harley Sportster. So the reason why this lever is broken is because when I first got the bike, I had the clutch foot peg was too small. So I guess the person who previously owned it left it like one notch down, so I didn't really have enough clearance space. So I was riding this on the highway from the dealership when I first got it, and then once I come home, because it was like an hour ride. Once I get home, once I get close to home, I get to a red light, and I was wearing my Timberlands, and when I try to put my foot down, I couldn't get it out. It was stuck in here. So then I just tipped over because I was at a red light, and I fell over, but good thing this was here. It saved my bike. The only thing that broke was probably just the handlebar, but it wasn't really a big drop. It was a controlled fall because when I fell, I kind of caught myself. But yeah, that's the reason why it broke. But I'm gonna be showing y'all how to swap it out. All right, so I'm gonna be showing you where the washer is at to remove it. All you're gonna need is a flathead for this part, and then you're gonna have these cable holders. So this one is right here. You'll know when you see it, when you can wiggle it around. Let it focus right here. All you need is a flathead, push that out, and then you have these cable holders right here. Got a little bell my sister gave me. And you'll see the second one right here. So we have two total. It's just clamped on there. You just gotta remove it to remove that pressure from here so you can be able to lift this up. Where it went. So this is what it looks like. It's really not that hard. Anyone could do this. I have no mechanic experience or anything. Well, self-taught maybe, but you just pop this right up. You see it? Right there. Simple as that. Now you see it's all wiggly now. Next, you'll just have to loosen this to give it some wiggle room so you could be able to take it out. The next step will be, removing these clips right here. So set this aside somewhere you won't lose it. Make sure if you do drop it, you find it, because I don't know if this is an expensive piece, but knowing Harley, that might be like 50 bucks. All right, now for part 3. First was the washer shit, then the clutch pin. Now it's just removing these holders. So it's simple as just pushing them out. Let's see. Doing this with one hand. There you go. All right, that's one. Gotta be careful with that. And number 2. All right, so now that we removed both clips, one that was up here and one was down here, now this is the clutch cable. So now all we had to do is lift this up to expose the clutch cable. As you can see, as I'm lifting it, it's right there. All you gotta do is just loosen this to give this more length at the top to wiggle this out, because without loosening that, this isn't going anywhere. All right, now all you wanna do is undo the lug nut or whatever it's called, jam nut. And you see this one, put one strength down here and then the other one up here. So let's see how this goes. There you go. There you go. And once you got that, you can do this one by hand. And essentially what that does is just removes all that tension that's up there that's holding you down. And then once you got that up like that, it should be as simple as just tugging this right here. And then this should easily just fall right out. 2, I didn't wiggle enough, so I moved it, screwed it up, whatever, down, and then gave me some wiggle room right here. And then since this screen is in the way, I wish I had 2 hands, but it should just pop right out. Right about now. There you go. And then just be mindful, you do have this pin right here. This is what holds the clutch cable, and you just want to take that out. Make sure you don't lose that either. Probably leave it right here with all the other stuff. As you can see, if you are doing this, following along with me, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. And then whichever one you're swapping out. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and put the new one like this, mirroring that, putting that plastic piece in here and back on there, and then just retracing your steps, you know, screw that back down, you know, put the pins, whatever. You'll see as I do it. So if you're like me and buy shit from Amazon, as you can see, this part easily fits in through here, you know, some wiggle room. But this one right here, Amazon product, you know, doesn't fit the best. It's really tight, so it's really not the right one. So might have to go buy an OEM piece or just return and buy another one. All right, so if you got a cheap Amazon part like I did, and you want to find out a way how to get that plastic piece to fit in there, all I did was get like a screwdriver and some like sandpaper, and just like, you know, sanded it down because you only needed a few millimeters more to get in, and then just like pressed it down, like use this as a hammer, just to get that nut in. All right, so I did have to fight it a couple times just to get this in. It was like once I got it in, I couldn't get it, you know, to perfectly sit, but now as you can see, you know, it's in there. So now that I got this in here and it's sitting tight, now we just gotta run this down and make sure this is tight so that whenever we're pulling down on this, you know, you get that perfect friction zone. All right, so to put it in, you gotta slide it in through here first, and then make sure this falls into place right here, and put in that pin. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. Pin right here, drop down. All right, so now I'm hand tightening this, as you can see. And then what that does, I already did a lot of it. So as you can see right here, this is now more stiff, but you're supposed to leave at least, I don't know, like 3 millimeters of length on there. So I think I might have overdone it. So I'm gonna unloosen it. And then now you can see there's a little bit more wiggle room. You want to leave some space because of heat expansion. You know, if you're ever driving in the winter or in the summer, you know, you got to give it some space for it to go through. So now that I got this in there, just gonna go ahead and finish it off. You know, add the 2 clips, add the little shit right here. One thing I did want to mention is that everything is trial and error when you do stuff. Like in this video, it might be like 2 to 3 minutes, but in reality, it did take me like an hour or 2 just to fiddle with things. Like I said, everything is trial and error. So the issue I was having was that with the Amazon piece, I was able to get it in, but when this piece would sit right on here, it would be stuck all the time. It wouldn't really move. Like if I left it here, and let's say if I were driving and I want to release it into the friction zone, it would not move. So I went ahead and put the OEM Harley piece. As you can see, it's right there and it easily glides through, but this piece wouldn't glide through, and you could see where it scraped it off, and then I guess it was just too long and it wouldn't sit right, causing it to always get stuck. So I went ahead and just used the OEM piece. All I did was just unscrew it from there, and yeah, now you can see, now I was just putting things back together. This was probably the hardest piece to ever put back. After like 5 minutes of trying to do it, easiest part is maybe just to put the back piece first, and then each leg, just put one leg up first and then put the other leg. And what I mean by legs is this piece, these 2 pieces. So put the back first, put one leg first, and then squeeze in the other one. All right, so finally, we went ahead and got this done. So as you can see, clip is right there. I don't think you guys need a video to put these two back on. Got this piece back on, and then like I said, after trial and error, finally was able to get this done. I was exaggerating when I said it took an hour. It probably only took like 45 minutes to be honest, but it just depends on like the aftermarket parts you buy. If it is an OEM, you're probably gonna run into some issues like getting this to fit right. You have to move it around, play with it. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty much easy. That's about it. Look at these dice I got. I'm so badass.